Pole position in the daily races a little while ago. I actually I qualified 59 seconds, .707, and that actually got me into a pole position. It's my first one. I was really excited about it. And figure, all right, well, all I've got to do is just keep my race line because this is on the Suzuka Circuit East course, which I love this course, and this is actually the course every time I get a new car. First thing I do is I take it to this course. Now tonight, the vehicle that we were all racing is the Alpine A110 Premier, which I did not have any experience with. I'd raced a couple of races before I qualified, and they went all right. The car, I honestly, I really wish that they'd flattened out the lower gears a little bit because this thing really likes to get crazy, really likes to get out of control. But it's a twitchy car, but it's fun. So here we go. This is the race, and my first pole position, my first win, and yeah, after one hell of a battle, and I got so excited when I realized I was getting my first pole position. I actually called my girlfriend in, so she was watching all of this, and afterwards she was like, "Oh my God, that is insane!" Like, she was like, my blood pressure is up right now. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's awesome, isn't it? So here we go. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna play this. And what I'll be doing is I'll go ahead and I'll switch through a couple of the views, including the cockpit view, which is what I use when I'm racing. This is a racing sim. What is the point of racing a racing sim if you're not using a cockpit view? I mean, don't get me wrong, the little, looks like a drone following behind an RC car is great and all, but so here I am, no one in front of me, which is awesome. Now we'll go ahead and we're going to back out of this view to the outside cameras, and number 2 comes up, and I've actually raced this guy before, and yeah, he definitely had the inside, and yeah, I'm backed up now. I'm backed up. 6th, now 5th place, and it's just all manner of chaos with this one. This actually got pretty heated. Now he's in 4th, down from 2nd. The leader right now is, I've never driven with him before, never raced against him, but he seemed pretty clean. And I'm just trying to maintain here. I'm just trying to fight my way back because, I mean, it's my first pole position. I mean, come on. I can't finish 5th. There's 8 laps to this race. It's Suzuka East course that it's actually a compound turn. Turns 1 and 2. It throws a lot of people off because you can take that first turn at 4th gear, but you have to be about in a high 3rd to take that 2nd. And me personally, I just kind of drift it and let the engine bleed off speed, and then I can nail, I can get right back on point. That's just my way of tackling it. There is a lot of pushing and a lot of shoving going on. Loads of people took SR hits in this race, including me. I did, and I I feel bad about it because I actually did bump the number 2 car, and I didn't mean to. It's one of those things that happens. And you can see how many people really miss those first 2 turns. A lot of people assume it's 1 turn. No, it is actually 2. It is a compound turn. So now here we are. We've got the race for first, second, and third. I battled my way back. Here we are. We're just about finishing up lap 3. I'm a little bit behind the first 2 positions. I'm hitting my corners really well, and the last turns are actually kind of a compound turn as well, and I'm doing really well in this car with the compound turns. You'll notice, other than getting ready for turn 1, there's almost no braking involved. It's all throttle control, which is extra fun using just the controller. I can't wait to get a wheel. So that first black car has actually managed to bump the guy who had been the lead into third. I'm now in second. Just trying to cover a race line here. And now I was inside and he bumped me. And I'm inside again, and he's hitting me from the rear, and apparently that did not work out real well for him. Here we go. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, let's have a good clean race from here on out. You know, I'm not looking to have contact. And there he is. He's right on my bumper, which I gotta admit put some pressure. Hey, cool, bring it. Slipped that turn just a little bit, and I'm back into third place. Rode over the curbing slightly and got a bump from fourth place. Thanks for the boost, dude. So here is my view from the cockpit. Going down that long straightaway. Oh, excuse me. I love this track. This track will teach you really everything you need to know about a car once you're ready to really drive it. And here we go. And I did bump him. I did not mean to. And he spun out. Of course, so it happens. So here we go. All right, cool. Let's just have a good clean race. We're just gonna, we're just gonna glide on this one. I'm still really pushing for first. I really want first. But you know what? I would have taken second, because in a lot of these races, I'll start off and end up, one position less than where I started off. So, and this guy has done, I mean, he's a good racer. He's been, gotten it just as hard as I have. So, I got no problem with that. So let's go back to the full camera view. When you're in the cockpit view, it doesn't really even feel like you're going that fast, and you're paying more attention to the gears than the speed. But once you back it up and you're actually looking at it in a replay, and you realize you're taking these corners at 75, 85, 95, sometimes 100 miles an hour, it's a little intense. And you do, I guess you're just so in the zone that you don't realize it. I cannot wait to get a VR rig, because you're supposed to get a much better sense of the speed and distance involved. I think that's a lot of the problem why there is a lot of bumping and rubbing currently, is because unless you've got everything adjusted right, it can be very hard to judge, your absolute speed the way you would in a regular car. So here we go, and it's the final lap, and I'm pushing, and I'm right on him, and I know I'm right on him, and I did not do my typical drift style through that turn. It's kind of a hybrid of my racing style and his. I was on the inside there, and I remember thinking, I'm like, dude, I've got the inside. Wait till next corner. Slow down and try to catch me next one. But no, he pushed it, and so now I'm in the front. I gotta admit, he's aggressive, but he was polite on the track. I mean, he was not a dick at all. He's a good, clean racer, but he is very aggressive. And it just so happened on that one, I had the inside line. It's one of those, I have the high ground. So there we go. That's right there. That's how it happened. That's how I got my first victory. It was a hard fight back. It really was, because coming back, I mean, I got knocked all the way back down to 6th place, and luckily, like I said, I know this track, and this track, if you're not intimately familiar with it, like, you bought at the Steak and Lobster, this track will really throw you off, because there are those 2 compound turns, those really wide, wavy chicanes that really don't behave like chicanes. They're just a series of turns, and then of course you've got all that wonderful soft sand right after the curbing, and that screws a lot of people up. You go off the track in this one, good luck getting even back on it. So anyway, so that was my first pole position and my first win. I doubt seriously anybody's actually interested in watching it from cockpit view, but if you are interested, then keep going with the video. If you're not, then, go ahead, feel free to tune out now. So, but we're going to play this through just in the pure cockpit view, which is how I'm actually seeing this race as it's happening. I am saving up money. I'm trying very, very, very desperately. I want a proper rig. Alright, so let's go ahead. So this is the cockpit view. This is actually what you're seeing, and like right now I'm moving the camera so that I can actually look out the side and everything else, which you'd be able to do just by turning your head in VR. Of course, now VR currently is limited to only 2 racers. So this is what I'm seeing the entire time. And I missed my shift point really early on. I don't want to say that was intentional. I don't think that was intentional. At the time, it felt intentional, though. But looking back at the replay, I'm like, I think he just got inside and just hit that a little bit too quick and shoved me off. I did not bump there. I did not bump. But no, all of your turns on this track really are guided, especially in a car like this. And you know, a regular road car, there's nothing hugely fancy about it. It's not a race car or anything like that. They're all really. I'm trying to find a way around him. I'm trying to find a way around him. It's all in your shifting and your throttle, with the exception of the big brake point at the end of this straightaway. You know, if you're hitting the brakes in corners here, after this, you're not gonna get a good time. This is one of those where you just have to push, and push I did. I think he may also be I'd say fellow controller player, but you gotta brace it. You gotta brace it, because it is sensitive and it can put you completely off track. You just, you know, I've been doing practice laps and I'll, you know, sneeze and bam, I'm off track. Here we go. Alright, so now I'm in second. Yes, I did bump there. That one actually cost me a drop in SR. I made it up over the course of the race, but and I got hit again, and there was another tap. There we go. It was definitely an intense ride. Definitely. And he's right on me. You see him in my rear view. And that's one of the things, and you gotta let it, not throw you off too much when somebody's right on you like that. Now they can always, yeah, they can punch you, which you're always a little worried about, but, I didn't think he was really going to do that. Of course, I wasn't sure, because like I said, while I was actually racing, I thought that hit in the beginning was intentional. Looking at the replay now, I realize it probably was not intentional. He got on the inside, and I had already had my game plan figured out. Being in first, I figured, well, he's not going to get around me in time, and he did. He was inside, and he just shoved me off. I give him credit. He keeps pressure on. He really does keep pressure on you when you're, and I bumped him there. He really does. He keeps pressure on you when you're, oh, sorry, dude. He keeps pressure on you. Now we got, less than 2 laps to go, and I'm really pushing. You can see the tack redlining pretty much every time I downshift into third, which is basically just how you slow down on this track. Maybe a little light tap of the brakes just to get a little bit more traction in your front wheels, just to, maybe push the angle of a turn a little bit. But other than that, no, you just have to feel it out. Here I'm going back to my drifting routine, and essentially drifting and engine braking, and you see how well that works to catch up on a lot of drivers. I broke in time, did not bump. You know, I mean, that's the thing. I'm always trying to race clean. Of course, I have my wonderful S sportsman rating, which is the highest class, and I'm still at a D. But after tonight, that D is getting pushed a little bit closer to a C as far as the actual driver rating, which is, you know, where you're ranked. So I can't pass him. At that point, I realize I can't pass him. I'm trying to take his drive line, but it's